please, whenever you're ready, restart.
So thank you guys for coming out of your busy days and students for getting into class to see this, but I'm Niko Noel and I'm presenting my life for the next 10 years and where I'm going to be after that in the following careers. And this is obviously a course for appeal of 2013. So life choices. So instead of wanting to be a soccer star and doing sports and stuff, I just became fat and bought an Xbox. So I started taking things from real life and putting it into my Call of Duty gaming enjoyment center. Over winter break, as a lot of you guys know, I started doing streaming and I got picked up by a team called Hybrid. I joined their team and we've been competing in random competitions, online and LAN events, like that one, like the Astro Cup. That was actually a few weeks ago on April 28th. We ended up placing third, just under an actual winning thing. Warning, one of my friends made me do this into like a Batman Begins thing, so you're gonna have to deal with Niko Begins. So over spring break, I got actually sponsored by some of the things that our hybrid team sponsored by, along with my own personal NOS sponsor. So, you know, it took a little bit of time to get those. One of the things that really pushed it was when we ended up beating those three guys in just a random online match, 3 people on the other team across from the Orange Bar are 3 members of Freako Impact, and those guys won the $1 Million Championship this past year, and we ended up beating them in just a random game. So that was actually what got my NOS sponsor signed. So the Niko Cave. So a lot of people think that gamers just live out of a cardboard box because it's just a really poor sport, but actually it's not. This is just where I play just Call of Duty. I just play competitive Call of Duty, stream, and I make my videos only in this room. My bedroom's next door. So it's actually a really awesome life. So life of the shady. So the average competitive player makes between $30,000 and $150,000 per year because of the payment on your ads, along with that varying because of your winnings, and if you lose, you don't get money. But next year and over summer break, I'm going to be working in GameStop just so I can start building up into my bank account, putting money away into savings, especially because I'm going to be taxed, which is awesome. Along with still being a competitive player on the side, I'm going to be finding a job at IGN after high school. IGN is informational gaming news. A lot of people think that gaming is still a small community, but IGN promoted one of the past live events of gaming, and it had as many viewers as this past Super Bowl. So it is a huge community, along with the 74.4 million units sold of just the Xbox 360 that I played on. So it's a massive, broad spectrum of a group of people, and I want to be part of that community. And once I finish my job at IGN, because it is just kind of a low corporate thing, not very creative, I wanted to go and work at Bungie or Activision. Those are 2 big companies in the gaming industry right now. Activision just put out a trailer from Call of Duty Ghosts called Masked Warriors. It was very incredible. But those are the type of things I want to work on in the media department of those companies, making the advertisements, being able to promote things like the DLC content, all of their openings and endings. You do all that fun stuff, and you just get paid to play Call of Duty. So it's just the best job ever. So the skills I learned from MPX. So as you can see, my career path doesn't involve much math or science because I'm lazy. So I learned how to be more of a person from MPX though. So I took out things like being observant, independent, meticulous, keen, vocal, and creative. And those were just the main things. There were many more. But being observant, so being a more project-oriented class, I was taught to be more observant of things I study and my surroundings, mostly because of the field trips, and we're putting together things like, we're understanding the concepts of going into the water tunnel, seeing where all of our fresh water comes from. We're going out, we're looking at where during World War II, where Japanese people were put in prison. And of course, we did our World War II timeline. So that gave a huge concept of being able to understand the physical world around us. And it also helped me to find those things that I do in my gaming life. I have to go and I look for people, I have to look for, sponsorships and stuff. I've actually found many of the major pro players that are way above my head. They already have careers. And I've been able to, party up with them, talk with them, see how I can actually path out my career life. So being independent. So for our Google project, it was a self-oriented project. You could have done in group works. I did it alone. We had to pick a physics topic. Only one. I picked 3. I picked force, velocity, and pressure, and it taught me a lot about After Effects. The reason it taught me about After Effects is because the way I showed that I learned those 3 topics is that I had an F-22 wrapper ripped across the mid-pack skies. From everything from the force of it shaking the trees, the velocity of it going a Mach 6, and the pressure of it just showing the air coming off the tail. So, and of course, just being independent, I didn't have any help getting to where I am today as a pro player. It's just all, me and my little solo controller at midnight. So being meticulous and keen. So we spent a lot of time researching and digging through documents. Of course, we had our judicial thing where we had to understand the judicial system. I had to learn how to be a Mark Twain trial member. I had to do all that kind of stuff. I had to understand water flow and purification, so I had to design that Google SketchUp project. It was a 3D model. I had to understand how that all works, so I could put all the components together correctly. And of course, how do I involve this? Well, just to be a nerd, I have a Call of Duty playbook. It's true, I've watched many gameplays of myself for hours on end. I've built all the strategies I need to know, where I need to be. Really nerdy, but it's awesome and it helps me win the games that I need to. So being vocal. So doing things like this, and group work, and of course we have those presentations with actually high-ranked people like Mr. McManus and President Rice. It's really taught me how to talk to the public, not as a 16-year-old, but partially as an adult. So, I do everything from I post a lot of my gameplays on the internet, I get the attention of sponsors and major pro circuit teams that I want to join. But one of the things is just talking out to people is really hard, so I kind of have to do it through the internet. So I do things like I post videos on YouTube, I talk to people over the internet through Twitter, and of course I live stream on Twitch just where people can just watch me play the game live while I'm chatting. They can hear me, they can hear the team, and it's a fun community. So, on those sites though, I do post everything from montages, just pictures as we blast through the Call of Duty seasons, just fun. And of course, so thank you for watching. Hopefully, you'll see that name on some broadcast or some advertisement in the future, and me holding up that trophy. Thank you. Now what do I do?
Now you take questions from an audience that's
Questions.
interested to ask you
From the
lots of
audience.
interesting things.
Chris, because I know you're playing some surfing game. What do you got?
Actually, he's not.
That's the first time. Holy.
He was
Okay.
working that entire time.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for you.
Students, parents,
Anything?
guests, we have questions for Drew.
Niko?
Niko.
I'm looking at Drew, sorry, Niko. Sorry about that.
Anything? Come on. No.
Sure, I'll ask you. Is this profession short-lived? It seems like you have to compete with the younger generation, and they're always quicker, more creative, and
Well, I am the younger generation of this.
well, right now.
Right now I am. But the thing is, just to kind of make a point, this past Call of Duty Black Ops 2, within the first 15 days of its release, it made $1.3 billion. So I mean, it's still going to make a lot of money no matter what you're doing along the way, as long as you're somehow involved with it. From working at IGN to being a part of the community at Bungie or Activision, you'd still be making a part of that huge sum of money. So it actually is a good career to follow. And as a backup plan, I could totally just go and enlist in the army, just end it, just go in the army.
Do you play one game or a variety of games?
I'm only sponsored to be playing competitive Call of Duty. So for any Call of Duty that comes out, they come out once a year. Besides that, and of course I do play other games, but I'm not sponsored for them and I don't play competitively for them.
Niko, you had mentioned about, your sort of path as you see yourself going, and you talked about, I'm sorry, my own handwriting here in the dark, about doing sort of media development and sort of the job about the design part of stuff. What kinds of job or skills do you need, and where do you get those to do that higher level work?
Well, one of the things, I know these guys saw it, I made a sniper video. I don't actually know if you saw it. It was a sniper poem. The poem was completely plagiarized because I was horribly lazy. The cinematography for it, we went up to Makapu at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we filmed this guy in a ghillie suit, literally just chilling up there. So, just kind of put a baseline. I do already have, a decent amount of what I need to know to be moving on to those pathways. Because of course there's more and more, but there's always, online colleges at Full Sail, which I can actually get sponsors for, to pay for because it's an MLG college. Full Sail University actually pays for people to go and play competitively at MLG, so they're a huge college for that. So anything you're following a career with, they are completely backing up on it. They actually have said many times, they've just taken players out of the blue, just given them careers.
I have another question, if no one else has, but please ask, I'm not trying to jump in.
I know what being sponsored means in terms of like surfing or automobile racing. What does being sponsored for Call of Duty
Well,
entail? Do they fund
for
you?
being-
Do they?
See if I can actually zoom. Ooh, I can, that's cool. So, being sponsored for competitive Call of Duty, one of the things is, I get things from like free headsets, controllers, I get capture cards, and I get gun art classes. Those are all just major sponsors that are all for me. And then of course I have my signed sponsor for NOS, it's just a personal sponsor, it's not an actual hybrid one.
Are those all pieces of equipment that you need in order to play the game?
It's not all you need, but as you move up through the levels, you just get cooler stuff. You just get better toys, that's it.
And does it make you more competitive as far as?
As you're going along, it does get much more competitive. I mean, I've been playing just games for at least 5 years. Just recently, you really do see a jump in where it comes from just kind of fooling around to where you actually want to win the game. You don't care about anything else, you just want to win it. That's really the point of the competitive play, and that's what makes it entertaining to play it over and over again. Because you're always facing up against different people. They're always doing something different. You got to change what you're doing. And it's just like playing a regular sport, except you only have to use your thumbs. So it's awesome.
So what kind of positions for upward mobility?
For what?
Upward mobility, to move up in the company.
Move up in the company?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, if I do want to go to college, I mean, of course, just like any other corporate system, you go to college, get a better job. Really, anything I want to do just involves me not having to learn because I'm horribly lazy. So, of course, IGN, you actually just get to go straight out of college because it's just a journalism type thing. But it is very corporate. So that's where the creative side, working at Activision or Bungie, you don't have to go through all that other stuff. You literally just jump right into it. And they just kind of, just take people who want to do it and who can do it. It's really not moving up, it's just really doing what you want to do.
But after becoming a gamer, then what? What other positions are available?
Retire.
So would you ever get involved in designing?
I've always liked the idea of designing a game. Of course, you got to do your own thing in it. You always have to have your piece of the puzzle that everybody's going to see. Millions of people. The thing about being a designer is not that it takes a lot of work. It's that it's very, it's very scripted to a certain thing because you don't design the entire game. You're one little piece of that massive puzzle. So they got the corporate head that designs the script and all that other stuff. So you do have to follow on that. So it's not as creative as you want. That's why the media department, you can do anything you want just to show the game, and they can't really say no to it because, your only job is to show it.
How
Niko,
long have you been,
oh, wait.
sorry, how long have you been gaming?
Competitively, 5 months since I've been actually picked up on a team. 3 since I've been actually competing in tournaments. Just for fun, probably about the past 5 years. Yeah, just for
Do
fun.
you play anything besides that?
Minecraft, Halo, Battlefield, I don't know, whatever.
So everything is around.
Things with a gun. I'm 16 though.
Okay. That's a variety, get hockey
I'm
every
sorry,
day.
what's a Minecraft?
A horribly pixelated world where everything's a block and you build stuff. I don't know how to describe it.
How
Kinda
many
like
people play
Legos?
Minecraft?
It's like Lego.
Yeah, it's computer
Play
Legos,
Minecraft.
basically. With
How
some.
many people play it? I don't know how many people play it, and I can say that it's pretty much on every kid's computer that I've seen. It's a
It's very popular.
Yeah, it's very popular. I mean, it's a worldwide game. It's in different languages.
And you played this on a team, right?
I play this on a team for people that are actually on the mainland. I'm the only one from Hawaii.
A little bit bigger question for you. So you chose to come into NPX as a 9th grader. So I'm curious, as you reach the end now of the 10th grade and NPX ends for you, what do you think was different about being in this program versus being in the standard program for you? What would your path have been any different? Would you have been a different student? I'm just curious if you thought about what it means for you having done this program versus the other choice you had.
Well, when I was in PK or kindergarten, it was that timing. I went to Waldorf, which is a very creative school. It kind of really sparked my creativity. I mean, they taught you how to make anything. I mean, I even learned how to sew. It's kind of depressing that I've been doing knowing how to sew, but I can do
No,
it.
it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, I guess it's awesome. But, so I mean, going into regular school, from 1st grade all the way up until 8th, it was just completely set in a textbook. It wasn't fun, really. It was just study, do the work, get by it, so on and so forth. Jumping into NPX, it really kind of brought back the creativity into it. So I mean, I've been jumping into a lot more things, building things on my own. Kind of got back into doing the whole robotics thing that I've been doing since 6th grade, even though it was a high school team. I just kind of been jumping back in the whole creative side of things, just because doing regular classes does kind of put you back into just the follow, just the follow mode. That's it. You just follow. NPX is very creative, and it's really on your own just to do what you want to do to get where you want to be in the future.
What are your plans for academics for next year and the year after?
Well, for next year and the year after, academically wise, even though I'm going to be in standard classes,